Hey, welcome to my hobby vlog. I suppose hobby vlog. It's a bit of a combination of things, really. I've got some progress on my Ironjawz. In combination with that, I'm starting up Age of Sigmar to be the first Games Workshop game I've played in about 6 years. I have been wargaming, but more recently come back into the fold of the ever-expanding Games Workshop with some of their nice new plastics that they've been bringing out. So I've got quite a large Ironjawz force that I'm working on. A bit insane, really, but I'm also going to be going to Warhammer World in January to take part in one of the team events. So a couple of the guys who I game with managed to persuade me to, they persuaded me it'd be a good idea for me to, with no experience, go to this event. Not entirely sure how sensible that is, but we'll give it a go and see how we get on. To start with, I'm not overly interested in winning. I'm going to use it as a bit of a springboard, to be brutally honest, to see what people are doing and what people take and how the game plays. So my team are not interested particularly in running optimal lists. They're more than happy to run a mixture of different bits and pieces, all nicely painted, and yeah, we'll see how we get on. But from a time perspective, the 12th of January isn't that far away, and I've still got quite a lot of paint to slap on. So I'm going to give you a quick run through of where I'm up to with my models. This is exactly 2,000 points. So this is what I'm going to take. I'm not going to add anything to it. I'm not going to try and overthink it. I'm just going to take a bit of everything, as I'll run through in a minute, and then you can come back and laugh at my terrible selection of units and models and choices. But hopefully, as I play more games, I can record more videos and hopefully give you some insights as to how I'm hopefully developing. I might still suck, I don't know, as a player. So I'm going to start off just flicking through some of my models that I've been working on. So I picked up this army. Again, off one of my friends, so that's right. I'm taking a giant, which I know people have said is a bit crazy, but love the model. So this is my giant that I painted so far. Might add a few more bits to him at a later point. I suppose the beauty of a giant is you can just keep adding to him. So I particularly like his vulture, and on recommendation from a friend, I've even added some. Don't know if you can see it on there. Some bird poop running down his back, but yeah, cracking kit. And again, you could make 2 or 3 of these completely different. Amazing, really set of plastics. And I know he's a bit marmitey. Some people think he's got a bit of a jelly belly, but I really like his face and all the character that you can get out of one of these models. So yeah, so there's the giant. He's the mainstay of my army. He's going to win the event for me. Who else have we got? We've got an albino shaman. So yeah, he's again another cracking model. And the games I've played so far, I've only played a few. He's not really done anything spectacular, but he looks cool. And I suppose you need someone to dispel the odd spell. So yeah, I'm sure there is a way of using him far better than I do, but I'm sure I'll learn as I play how to get the most out of him. Okay, I'm going to take off the unpainted Lord first. So I've been working on Maw Crusher. Dude's magnetized, so the Maw Crusher is pretty much there. I can get it. As you can probably tell, my entire army is ice themed. So yeah, he's a cool model. I think people call him the Cabbage Dragon, don't they? He's again, you could paint a couple of these, and I don't think there'd be any issues at all. It appears my camera doesn't like this large model. It's struggling to pick it out and zoom in on it, but yeah, you'll see there's a lot of gore on the models, but it's a bit, keep it consistent. And it's a very orky thing, isn't it? Blood splatters and not known for their hygiene. So yeah, that's him. I've got the guys from the Shadespire set all finished. I don't know if I can. Oh, that's better. There we go. So that's the first one. Again, these are slightly different colour scheme to the rest of the army, but they're kind of like wandering around mercenaries, but they've got a bit of a nice theme with the weapons. Again, plenty of blood splatters. And the last one. Again, I know they're not in game. I don't think they're considered particularly good, but you know, cool looking models. What else have I got here? So not finished yet, but the boss on foot. Again, he should be done in the next few days. Just working on the orange and the armor, and then I've got the weapons to do. Getting some of the strapping, but yeah, no, he's a cool model. And of course, all the undergarments of the trousers and the orange one needs layering up. And I've got to do the skin on him as well. So finish the skin off. So the brutes are next. Now I didn't start these brutes. These came part painted from a very talented painter. So I've managed to kind of copy it, which is quite good across the others. And hopefully I can continue that across the army. So I'll try and get you a close up of one of them, so you can see. Again, gore splattered. Ice armor. So I've got a whole load of those. I mean, I'll throw them up in 2 or 3 at a time. There we go. So yeah, there's a whole unit of them. I'll just get the rest out of the way. Okay, so this I finished this evening. So my least favourite models, the Yardboys, for obvious reasons, are the oldest models, I suppose. They don't really fit in with the Ironjawz brand. It's done by Games Workshop. Don't want to ditch a line of plastics, and they kind of, I suppose, fit in some way with the Ironjawz kind of ethos. But yeah, I find it hard to understand why the Yardboys would necessarily storyline-wise be in with the Yardboys. I'm trying to get him to zoom in. So again, I've gone very metally, basically it's fast. And then if I rotate him around, he's got the same orange and blue to time in with the rest of the army. Again, blood splattered weaponry, all dirty and whatnot. I may well get some weathering powder and give him some rusty effects around the joints, because again, snow and water and all that probably isn't too good when you're wearing plates of steel. So this kind of leaves what's left really. So to paint by the 12th of January, I've got to do a couple of units of gore grunters. Again, not sure if I take them as 1 unit of 6 or 2 units of 3. I think the general sense is 2 units of 3 is better. So I've got 6 gore grunters there. I've got to slap some paint on, which I can hopefully get done now. Luckily, I'm off over Christmas, which is nice. So yeah, I've got a war chanter. Again, you know, traffic air control. No Ironjawz army would be without a air traffic controller for landing that Maw Crusher down on someone. So there's one. Again, I've got another one of these, but he's unassembled at the moment, mainly because I didn't want to have too many choices to start with. So I have got another one of these that may well end up going in instead of the Shadespire guys, because I think for 80 points there's no real comparison. So yeah, and then a unit of Yardboys at the back here that I'm going to be working on next. So I like to treat myself with characters. So from a paint and army perspective, you know, I like the army will look nice when it's done. I'm not expecting to win Golden Demon with it or anything. So I like to paint a unit and then treat myself with a character. So the way that I've got it left out now is I'm just going to finish off the boss on foot. I'm going to paint the Ironjawz as I'm finishing him off. Then I'll paint another character, probably the War Chanter. And then I'll paint a unit of 3 Gore Grunters. And then I'll paint the big guy. And then 3 more Gore Grunters, and I'm ready for the event. So yeah, I don't know how sensible it is going to one of these events. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get absolutely pwned for an entire weekend's worth of gaming. But I think on the flip side, and I know that one of the team members who hasn't again been playing Age of Sigmar very long are looking at it that, you know, actually what we will see is the kind of tournament scene, how people play, what they're into. We're a bit long in the tooth now to worry about winning every game and coming up with skew lists. So we're going to take interest in lists. So yeah, following on from this, what I'm going to do is create little 400 point add-ins to my Ironjawz force to give me some variation from each of the other destruction factions. So you know, Spider Fang Grots, I'm gonna get a Ragnarok and a character on Giant Spider. See how they work out. I'm gonna get some Moon Clan in, but I know they're doing a new book, so I'll hold off until that comes out. And yeah, and then Orcs, I'm gonna, you know, probably get the Wyvern guy. Just gonna paint him, chuck him in, see how he does. You know, I see a lot of people take this a standard that I think from the standard Auric list that a lot of people take because of the keyword for Auric being in both Ironjawz and the Greenskins list. Yeah, and then apart from that, I'm going to pick one of those 400 point factions to expand into a new destruction force. I have no doubt it's probably going to be Moon Clan if they're going to be a new book to give me a new book, which I know gets moaned about a lot with destruction. A lot of the books are quite old. I think the only one I'm not going to do straight away is Beastclaw Raiders, because quite frankly, one monster for 400 points to add into these isn't really worth it. So if I'm going to do Beastclaw Raiders, I'll go out and I'll buy 4 or 5 of the big boys and do a proper list with them. But again, I think they're not dissimilar to the way that Ironjawz play. Down in your grill and whatnot. So I think they're probably the one that is least of interest to me to start with. But no doubt I will get there and I will end up doing them. So yeah. In terms of my progression, I'm going to do some write-ups on games that I play. So I'm going to play against people who both know what they're doing and in a similar position to myself. I'm going to go through some of the tactics where things didn't work. Hopefully get some decent feedback from you guys as to what I can do to improve my game. I may well even record a game or two and then sort of take highlights out of them. I haven't decided yet, but no, I really hope you enjoyed the video and yeah, and I'll update this probably every couple of weeks just with progress. So no doubt by the end of this week, middle of next week, I'll have finished the 10 hard boys. Which is kind of the schedule, and then I'll probably do another update on that. Or just glad I've got some objective markers. I don't know what the tournament thing is with those, but in terms of whether you need to bring something or not, but I've made some snowy objective markers there. Again, 6 of them. And although I've not found anywhere for it to go at the moment, there's also a dead dude that I fancy, or a tied up dude that I fancy sticking somewhere. I think he may well go onto the giant. I think, you know, we'll stick him on the giant's back and he can go in there. So yeah, that's basically where I'm up to. If you've got any kind of feedback or, you know, or what you think, I'm just going to show you these again because these are cool. Where's the big weapon? There we go. So yeah, hopefully, you know, I can win a game at an event. If I win a game, then that's an improvement from losing all my games. So if I can win a single game at the event, I'd be chuffed. And a view that, you know, if we go to enough of these kind of events, I'll hopefully go from winning hardly any, maybe one if I'm lucky, to perhaps winning half my games. So again, I'm not going to aim for top table dominance. It's more a case of you know, having a good laugh and taking lists that kind of make sense, I think, thematically, and as well as, you know, being semi-competitive, I suppose. but I'm not going to be painting 40 gore grunters, or an entire army of brutes, or 70,000 ard boys. It's one of those. I want to keep it varied and have lots of choice across the units, really. So whether that's a bad move or not, I don't really mind, really. It's one of those. But the only thing I might buy a second of is the big boy, simply because I just think the model's awesome. Although I am tempted by some of the Forge World monsters as well, so I might do a kind of monster mash kind of style list where you have things like Maw Crushers with basilisks, and there's the one that comes out of the floor. He's kind of cool. The Hag is pretty cool, and I like her rules. So I might do a kind of a troll destruction-y style list where I take some Ironjawz trolls, that Hag, and then one of the things I really fancy doing, because whenever I seem to add in an extra 400 points from a different faction, I tend to end up inevitably including a mage of some description, simply because I've only got one mage so far for my Ironjawz. So a second backup is quite sensible. So I think in every 400 points I've created, I think there's someone who can cast spells. So one of the things I thought would be quite cool would be to get a rogue idol and perhaps run some kind of magic heavy list with 5 or 6 mages from each of the different factions. And I know there are some limitations with destruction with regards to having to have basically from the nice plastic models, the only kind of battle line troops are the Moon Clan Grots. So having a kind of a backbone of Moon Clan, and then throw in and spice up the more pokey, hard-hitting parts of the force with random monsters that I'm going to accrue from these 400-point sections that I'm putting in. But yeah, do kind of like a gathering of mages, and I think that'd be really fun to take to an event, simply because it's probably a bit different. Again, I know destruction, the mages aren't the best in the game, but I'm pretty sure if you've got 6 of them and they're all throwing out loads of spells, especially with some of the endless spells that have come out. I think it's one of those where you could probably come up with something. Everyone getting at least +1 to cast from the idol. Hopefully, there's a bit of terrain on the board that I can hug that will also give me another +1, and then try and just overwhelm my opponents with mages that are casting on average 2 spells, perhaps 1 spell a turn, so 6 to 9 spells a turn, of varying kind of spells that do different things. So again, it'll take a bit of experimentation, but I just think fluffy wise it would be quite cool to have a big idol in the middle of your force surrounded by a load of crazy shaman, perhaps who have come together to compare their wands. So yeah, one of them, that's me perhaps for the future, but I really fancy doing that as a list. So no, I hope you've enjoyed the army so far. I'm going to sign off here because I've been rambling on. I will get better at videos, by the way. I'll get some lighting as well, because I've struggled to find somewhere in the house where I can properly show you what I've been working on. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and any questions, just obviously pop it down in the comments. If you've got any advice, or you want to send me a run through of what I should be doing at the event, more than happy to have a look at that. It may well you may well guide me to victory on the weekend away. So there's no way of dropping out of it now. The hotel has been booked, so I'll leave it there, and yeah, we'll catch up again hopefully in the next couple of weeks, where my ard boys are all finished and I can add them into the painted section, and that will tip the balance from me having a 50-50 painted, non-painted force to sort of 60-70% painted. One of them. Again, any criticisms or any feedback on the painting or what I could do to improve it, again, I'm always happy to hear all that kind of stuff. So just drop us a message on here, and yeah, we'll go from there. Everyone have a good evening, and hopefully I'll speak to you again soon.